On this vote, the yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
The U.S. House passed a massive spending and tax bill that includes signature policies of President Trump's second-term agenda. The House approved the bill in a 218 to 214 vote after the Senate narrowly approved the bill in a 51 to 50 vote that required Vice-President JD Vance to break a tie. At the center, the big, beautiful bill is an extension of Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The legislation would make most of the tax cuts permanent while increasing spending for border security, defense, and energy production. The bill is partially paid for by significant cuts to healthcare and nutrition programs like Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill would add $3.4 trillion to federal deficits over the next 10 years and leave millions without health insurance. Here's a look at key policy areas the bill touches on. Extend big tax cuts. This bill is an extension to President Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, slated to sunset at year's end, seeking to make the cuts permanent in what has been a key priority for Senate Republicans. When Trump took office in 2017, Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which lowered taxes and increased the standard deduction for all taxpayers. These provisions are set to expire this year, but the big, beautiful bill makes them permanent. It increases the standard deduction by $1,000 for individuals, $1,500 for heads of households, and $2,000 for married couples, albeit only through 2028, reported The Guardian. No tax on tips, overtime, and car loans. The bill would exempt tips and overtime pay from federal income taxes, fulfilling two of Trump's campaign promises. It would also allow taxpayers to deduct up to $10,000 of auto loan interest for U.S.-made vehicles. The bill also features a temporary tax break of $6,000 for seniors that phases down as income increases. Moreover, people who are above the age of 65 are eligible for an additional deduction of $6,000, provided their adjusted gross income does not exceed $75,000 for single filers or $150,000 for couples. But all of these incentives expire at the end of 2028, right before Trump's term as president ends. Child tax credit. The current $2,000 child tax credit is set to return to the pre-2017 level of $1,000 in 2026. The tax credit would permanently increase to $2,200 under the Senate bill, $300 less than the House-passed hike. The House version reverts the increase to $2,000 after 2028, according to media reports. State and local tax relief. The bill includes an increase to the cap on the state and local tax deduction, raising it from $10,000 to $40,000. After 5 years, it would return to $10,000, a departure from the House-passed bill. The Senate's version keeps the $40,000 cap, but only through 2028. Cut to food aids and Medicaid. Trump's big, beautiful bill would slash two major federal safety net programs: Medicaid, which provides health care to poor and disabled Americans, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which helps people afford groceries. It would reduce the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly known as food stamps, by around 20%. As per estimates, Medicaid changes could cost as many as 10.6 million people their health care, and about 8 million people, or 1 in 5 recipients, their SNAP benefits. More focus on mass deportation. President Trump has asked for more money to expand immigration enforcement. The bill would fund new sections of the border wall, increase surveillance, and build more detention facilities. As part of Trump's plan to remove undocumented immigrants from the country, Immigration and Customs Enforcement will receive $45 billion for detention facilities, $14 billion for deportation operations, and billions of dollars more to hire an additional 10,000 new agents by 2029, according to media reports. Also, more than $50 billion will be earmarked for the construction of new border fortifications, which will probably include a wall along the border with Mexico. Cuts to green energy. Subsidies and tax breaks for clean energy projects, including solar panels, wind farms, heat pumps, and electric vehicles, would be rolled back. The bill even proposes a new tax on clean energy projects. Federal incentives for cleaner cars and energy-efficient home upgrades are set to expire by the end of this year. At the same time, wind and solar power projects will face a new excise tax. According to the American Clean Power Association, this tax could raise consumer electricity bills by 8% to 10% and cost businesses between $4 billion and $7 billion by 2036.
We're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed, and it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great. I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. You know, we went over that bill, and point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
Mr. President, some Republicans that were concerned about the bill said that they had conversations with you where you made promises. What promises did you make? Did you tell Representative Clyde that you could have some action on gun rights? What sort of deals did you make with those?
Well, I talked to a lot of different Republicans in doing it, and we had a good time in being there. I did not have much of a problem with any of them. As you know, we had 2 negative votes, but we had whatever it was, the final vote. Yeah, I think a few of them I did, but I think they would have gone yes anyway. No deals. No deals. What I did is we talked about how good the bill is. I mean, that's a deal, I guess, when you think about it. But obviously convinced them. But it was not hard. This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country. Well, I was disappointed that he did that. There were 2 of them that voted no, so I was disappointed that he voted no. We had a call. It was a pretty long call. We talked about a lot of things, including Iran. And we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. No, I didn't make any progress with them today at all. I think we're going to get great growth. I think we'll have growth at record numbers. This is going to be something that's amazing, and everybody was watching it all over the world. And I want to congratulate the Speaker and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise and everybody else. I mean, they worked so hard, so hard. This has really been going on for over a year, if you think about it. I think, to be exact, about 14 months. And this was the culmination, and I guess it ended a lot earlier. A lot of people thought it would end up the following afternoon. Well, it ended up late in the evening, but they were great. They were great. And by the way, on the Senate side, I thought Senator Thune did a fantastic job. I think I have more power now. I do. You know, I could say, oh, gee, I don't know. I think I probably do because we've had a great record of success. You know, my first term was very, very successful. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. I think we're going to blow it away this term. But, you know, we've proven certain things. And, yeah, I think probably it's got more gravitas, more power.